Virginia21 is a nonprofit, nonpartisan organization that's headquartered here in Richmond, and we work to get young people involved in the political process and the public policy process here in Richmond. We've got chapters at all the four-year public schools in Virginia and a good handful of the community colleges, and we try to teach young people about the process through issues that they care about. So we talk a lot about higher education, we talk about student debt, talk about making sure college grads can find jobs, and we also talk to them about how important it is to actually vote if they want to get their issues pushed to the top of the priority list. So for us, this election, I mean, the next governor of Virginia will be responsible for driving the conversation about Virginia's budget. And whether or not higher education is a top priority in the next governor, in our opinion, has a lot to do with what percentage of young people actually turn out. Young people all the time talk about how they want college to be more affordable, they want to make sure it's high quality. Well, they need to turn out and vote to actually say that, to get the candidates to pay attention. So on September 24th, we launched a new program called TurboVote. And TurboVote is a new online tool that puts voter registration, it puts requests for absentee balloting, and it puts like voting reminders all in one place. So you can sign up to register, sign up for absentee voting, and sign up for reminders all in one place. And we kicked it off on September 24th, and all the way to the election, the registration deadline of October 15th, we registered over 2,000 voters, and we did that with in just 3 weeks. And the interesting thing, what you can look at when you see around the state, I wish I had more recent data, but student voter registrations are up in some places a few 100% or more when you compare to the last election that was like this in 2009. So there's at least significant interest in far as voter registrations, but the question will be, will those registrations turn out to vote? And we certainly hope they will.
How much of your effort is focused on like Richmond's campus or VCU's campus in particular?
Well, we don't we have a statewide interest. So I mean, we are pushing at all the four-year public schools. So VCU's not not one of the ones in particular, but we can tell you that at VCU we've registered over 200 people, and probably over 300 or more have actually signed up for reminders. So that's been basically what we've done at VCU, and we've got a small chapter of people at VCU that have been driving that for us, and we don't think that's bad at all for 3 weeks time. As we move closer to the election, one of the great things about our system with TurboVote is that we're going to be sending people reminders constantly. So anybody that's in our universe, that's not just in TurboVote, but that's in our Virginia21 membership universe that's already registered, that didn't sign up for TurboVote, we're going to be splashing reminders out to people constantly, whether it's on their mobile phone, whether it's an email address. We need them to turn out.
Do you have any physical get out the vote efforts leading up to the election, or is it all social media that you've been engaging in?
This is sort of a test for us. We're trying to do things, all over the internet with email and social media. So using a lot of Facebook and using a lot of Twitter. I mean, I think, a lot of the conversation, following the 2012 elections, it's really, what's the most effective means to turn voters out? Is it that like person to person, let's go grab people and go to the polls? Or is it driven by social media? Now, it's probably a blend of the two, but Virginia21 as an organization is better positioned to really take advantage of our social media and online resources. So that's really what we're pushing this time.
I see. And how successful do you think those efforts have been? When it comes to getting people out to the polls, your involvement in this, have you seen more young people involved in saying they're going to go vote, or?
It's a big question mark, because I think when you look at the general electorate doesn't seem, well, there's a balance between people that don't seem, they're not happy about the candidates, but there's also the general opinion that people just don't know that there's an election this year. In Virginia, we get election fatigue, because you go right from a federal election to a state election to a federal election to a state election, year after year after year, so we never get a break. So in federal years, we always have really high turnout, and then state years, we always have really low turnout. So, some of the question is, there are students that just don't know there's an election this year. So, we've tried to, push to educate them about that. And then there are students that just aren't happy about the candidates. And we've tried to say to them that it's still important to participate because the candidate for governor does drive higher education appropriation. So whether you like the candidates or not, it's important to vote and it's important to stand up and make sure your voice is heard.